Let's tackle some quadratic word problems. In this first problem, we're just going to start writing the equation as we see it. If a number is added to 2 times its square, okay, 2 times its square, that'll be 2x squared. If a number is added to that, the result is 36. I know it's a quadratic equation because it's got a square in it. Now this needs to be set equal to 0, so let's subtract the 36 off of each side of the equation and factor. That gives us 2x plus 9 times x minus 4 is equal to 0, and therefore x will equal either negative 9 halves or positive 4. Find all such numbers. Who said they have to be integers? It's perfectly fine to have rational solutions. Negative 9 halves will work if you do substitute it back into the original equation or apply the word problem to it. The length of a rectangle is 3 times its width. Well, I can draw a picture and say here's the width, the length is 3 times the width. The area is 48. That's length times width, so w times 3w is 48. That gives me 3w squared is 48, and I choose to set it equal to 0. So subtract 48 on each side. We have 3w squared minus 48 is equal to 0. This will then factor, take out a 3. We have w squared minus 16 equals 0. We can ignore the 3 out front. We have the difference of 2 squares, w plus 4 times w minus 4 equals 0, and therefore w equals negative 4 or w equals positive 4. Now we're dealing with geometry here, and a width can never be negative, so we will cross off this w equals negative 4. Let's throw in the dimensions. This is centimeters. The length is triple that. 3 times 4 is 12, and we'll have 12 centimeters then for the length. In number 18, they're giving us a formula for the height of something being dropped off of a cliff, and we want to know when will it hit the ground. Well, when it hits the ground, this is kind of the trick that you need to know. What will the height be? Well, the height will be 0. So I'll say its height is 0. And please excuse my messy writing here. So we basically want 0 to be h here. 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 256. Now I don't like it in this form. I don't need to, if I want, I can put the equals 0 on the right. That kind of helps. Whoops. Let me cross off the 0 on that side. Let's factor out the negative 16. That leaves me with t squared minus 16 on the right, which is the difference of 2 squares. I really don't need to pay attention to that negative 16 out in front because there's no variable with it, and if I were to divide each side by negative 16, it would be gone. And so basically we have t equals negative 4 seconds, which makes absolutely no sense. Whoops, I left out the minus right here. Or t is equal to 4 seconds. When will it hit the ground? Answer, 4 seconds after being dropped. In this next problem, we're being asked to find x. I didn't draw the right triangle in there, but there you have it. You know by the Pythagorean Theorem, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. That is, the sum of the squares of the lengths of the legs of the right triangle is equal to the square of the length of the hypotenuse. So we will have x squared plus 8 squared is equal to 10 squared. That gives us x squared plus 64 is equal to 100. And if we set this equal to 0 by subtracting 100 off of each side, we have x squared minus 36 is equal to 0. Well, that is the difference of 2 squares, factoring into x plus 6 times x minus 6. And a solution of negative 6 makes no sense, so x equals 6 will be the length of the missing side of this triangle. So we have a triangle whose dimensions are 6, 8, and 10.